Hello everyone, and good evening. Welcome you all to the session. I hope I'm properly audible to all of you. Let me know if I'm properly audible to all of you. I hope I'm properly audible to all of you. Very good evening and welcome you all to the session. Thank you for the confirmation, and let's begin up with the session today. So far, yesterday it was more on introduction to RPA, and today we're going to go ahead first and starting up with the setting up of our interface, and the for automation anywhere. So I hope all of you would have already downloaded the community edition version for Automation Anywhere. If not, let me know. And if you have downloaded already the community edition version of Automation Anywhere, let me know. So we'll begin with the session at further. So first, let me help you out with the way to download that out. Right. So let me help you out with that. How do we go ahead with downloading the community edition version of Automation Anywhere? Okay, so I'm going to share a link, and we need to follow the similar, step-by-step procedure. And once we go ahead with that, you'll be able to get the community edition version and able to access the tool very well, right? So I'm going to share you the link, right? So this is the link which I'm going to share you in the chat box here. So please go through this link, everyone, all of you, and please keep on confirming as soon as you are done with any particular step, right? So once you visit this link, as you can see that here we have community edition of Automation Anywhere available, and then we have enterprise edition version 11 as well, and we have enterprise A 2019, which is the recent release for Automation Anywhere, right? So we're going to be mainly working with the community edition. So are we all on this interface? Right, so this community edition is a free edition, and that gives us access to the RPA interface, IQ bot as well, and bot inside the bot analytics, and bot store the marketplace. Right, so yeah, and this is free of license we get here, and so we will be going ahead with this one. So what you need to do is you need to just fill up this form, first name, last name, email ID, country, phone number, company, and click on check over here and click on download now. Right, so if I do this job, if I fill this out, first name is Anshu, last name is Pandey, and if I fill up the email ID over here, right, and the country, click on phone number, company, and click on this, and to click on download option. So you need to click on download now option. Okay, so let me know if you are done with filling up this form. So if you click on download now option, you should be redirected to this particular link over here, right? You should be on this link once you have filled up that form. Sure, Chandra, but make sure that you follow this step, so we are doing step-by-step implementation of setting up the infrastructure so that we can be sure that the infrastructure is ready, right? So make sure that you look at the video and follow the steps. And before the next session we meet, please try that you have the infra ready with you. Okay, so that it would be easy for next session to do the hands-on and also perform the exercises. Right, so please try that before next session we have this ready. Okay, great. So yeah, you need to fill up the form and get to on this, you will be redirected on this particular interface. Okay, now once you're on this interface, you should be receiving an email from Automation Anywhere, which has already, in which you already have the uh, information about this kind of email you should be receiving, right? So Automation Anywhere, and you should be receiving the control name, URL, username, and password, right? So this is sort of email that you should be receiving up. Okay. So let me know if you would have received this email. Okay, so once you do the sign up process completely and if you are on this link, you need to check your email, and on your email you should have received the credentials, right? So make sure that first you have fill up this form, right? This form, and then you are on this interface, right? So you will be redirected to this interface, and you should be having this email. So you can also search for automation anywhere in your mailbox, and once you search for that, you should be receiving an email with the subject welcome to automation anywhere community edition. Would be the subject line. All right, let me know once you receive this part so that we can start with this download, and then we can discuss out the further exact installation setup for this. Okay, and if in case you are able to find this email, please confirm me so that I have understanding that we are following and we are on the same speed. So in case the moment you receive this, please give me a confirmation in the chat box. Okay, right. So I hope you'd have received the email with credentials. Everyone, let me know if you have received the email with the credentials. You have received these credentials with you, right? So which includes the username and the control room URL, username and the password, right? So now this is where we are trying to access a cloud-based web CR, web control room, which is hosted on Automation Anywhere. Okay, so Manya and Prajakta, Daniel, Sampada, Srinivas, are we all good? Is it that we all on the same level, right? So have you all received this email, which includes the credentials? Okay. All right, so I got a confirmation from Srinivas and Prajakta that yes, they have received it. All right, so Mania is still waiting for the email. Let's wait. I hope you have, you are done with filling up that form and getting through this interface. Sampada, if you have just arrived it, right, so I would share you what you need to do is you need to go to this link, right? So on this link, what you need to do is you need to fill up this form for community edition of Automation Anywhere, right? So community edition of version 11 of Automation Anywhere, and you need to fill this form. Click on download now. Yeah, I have already shared the link. This is the link for filling up the form, right? But you will all receive different credentials, for the web CR interface, right? So meanwhile, those who have received it, what you need to do is the moment you have received it, just click on this control room URL page. You will get this interface. Enter the username and password, and click on login. So if you log in, you should be on your dashboard of control room, right? So Sampada, I hope we are good, right? So you have received the email on link on which you need to go ahead and sign up, right? Once you sign up, you're right. Once you sign up for this, you will receive an email like this, and you need to click on your control room, username and password. You need to enter over here, and you'll be on this dashboard. Let me know once you reach to this dashboard. right? So meanwhile, Daniel, Prajakta, and Srinivas, you can try out and let me know once you reach to this dashboard. Yeah, I understood. So not a challenge, right? So what you need to do is just click on this link which I have just shared and go ahead there, sign up. Okay, so here, Daniel, you can click on download client option. Once you're reached here, there's a direct link for download client. This will start a download for Automation Anywhere client interface, right? So this is where you need to start download, and then we can now start with the discussion further, right? So this might take a little bit of time for you to get it downloaded as it is a little heavy file, right? So Srinivas, Prajakta, Daniel, let me know once you have started download. Manya, let me know if you have received the email. Right. So Sampath, I hope I am sending you an email in the chat box. If you click, sorry, a link in chat box. Once you click on this link, I hope you received the link in the chat box. In the chat box, I have passed the link, and click on this link. Once you click on this link, you will be on this interface. Are you on this interface? Let me know if you reach on this interface. Get a platform match. Great. Scroll down. In the community edition, you need to just fill up this form, right? You need to enter your name, email ID, country, phone, company. Check this and click on download now. Once you do this process, you should receive an email with credentials from Automation Anywhere. Okay, so you should receive an email like this. Welcome to Automation Anywhere Community Edition, like that, right? It might take a few minutes to receive this email. Okay, so Maniar, you have received the email. Great. What you need to do is you need to just click on control room, enter the username and password over here, and you should get on this dashboard, right? Once you're on this dashboard, just click on download client, right? Let me know if you have started the download. Great. So I believe, Sampata, you are on the way to filling up the form and waiting for the email. All right, and rest all, everyone. I hope you are good with the downloading part, right? So now let's discuss what we have done here and why are we doing these steps. Okay, I hope because this download was taking, it's going to be taking a little time. That's the reason we first started this download, and then we are going to now discuss what is that we have done and why are we doing these steps. Okay. All right. So first thing, I hope you would have already received a setup email from automation. So from Cognitia, which had a mention of the exact details about how should be the setup for this interface done, right? So maybe you would have received such email from the support team of Cognitia, right? So in that, if I share you that exactly. So let me show you that, the one that you should have received. Okay, so maybe you would have received this kind of interface here, right? A client and web CR, one drive file, right? So the idea is that Automation Anywhere architecture has mainly two components. One is what the client interface for development of the boat, and the web CR, the control room, right? Sampada, yeah, you need to wait for around a minute or two. In few minutes, you should be receiving that email, Sampada. So you should be getting this email. Welcome to Automation Anywhere Community Edition. You might need to wait for a few minutes. Okay. And other than that, other than Sampada, I hope everyone else is good, right? We are good with the downloading part. So what we're discussing over here is that in general, for setting up the Automation Anywhere interface, we need two things: the client interface and the web CR, which is web control room. You'd already received, this OneDrive for OneDrive, which has link for this. The same thing we are trying to download now for our community edition, right? So you already have a client set up on OneDrive as well. We don't need to download this. Do not download this interface. Do not download this OneDrive part. And this is just for sharing purpose. That well, you already have this available in the OneDrive AAE client setup, and also AAE the client interface enterprise application as well. Now the idea is that the setting up of automation anywhere requires two things. Uh, so setting up of automation anywhere requires two things. First is the very first thing it requires is the very first thing that it requires is the automation anywhere client interface, and then automation anywhere web CR. These are the two important components of automation anywhere software setup, right? And you can say it requires two things, right? So first is automation anywhere client enterprise application. This is what you're already downloading, a client interface. And second thing that it requires is the web CR setup. Second thing that it requires is automation anywhere web control room. Now this web control room, we have multiple options. One of the option is that if we have to do on-premises setup, one of the option is we have cloud-based web CR, which is what we are currently trying out, right? Which is what we are currently using. And the other option is we can set up our own on-premises web CR, right? So for setting up your on-premises web CR, it is a very heavy interface, and in that you need a couple of things which required the MS SQL server, right? In case you want to set up on premises, right? That means on your own computer, rather than using cloud-based web control room, you want to use your own web control room. So you need Microsoft SQL Server, Microsoft .NET requirements, and this also makes our system quite heavy as well, right? So these are the two things that we need for using web control room and the client interface. So for web control room, currently what we are doing is we are using cloud-based interface. So currently we have just signed up for automation anywhere, and automation anywhere has provided us this web CR. In the cloud-based web CR that we are currently using, and from there we are trying to download the community edition, right? You logged in, Sampada, great. So I'm gonna help you out with that, right? So once you're logged in, you just need to click on download client here. Okay, you just need to click on download client. That will help you out to start with the download. Okay, let's come back to the discussion. So I hope that you could get the download started. Great. So now everyone coming back to here. So generally to set up automation anywhere, we need two things: automation anywhere client enterprise application and the web control room. Currently, for the sake of web control room, we are using a cloud-based web CR because we don't want to get exhausted with our infrastructure. Generally, in case you want to use automation anywhere, the recommended infra is like recommended is 16 GB of RAM, which you may not be having right now, maybe or may not be, right? 16 GB of RAM, every one of you may not be having, and we recommend minimum of 8 GB of RAM, right? But this can make our system, this may not be your current configuration. So installing on-premises web control room might make our system much heavy, right? That's the reason we are going ahead with a cloud-based web control room. In the cloud-based web control room, we have some drawbacks that you don't get, cloud-based web control room doesn't allow you to upload the bots, schedule them, and execute them on the client interface. They simply allow us to do only development, right? Whereas if you install on-premises web CR, that is on your own machine, if you install the web CR, you get complete access, right? But as initially we are going to do only board development, we are going to only learn initially in the initial weeks, we are going to only learn the board development. Only in the last week we'll be looking at the use of web CR. So initially installing on-premises web CR will unnecessarily make our system heavy, and the Automation Anywhere enterprise application will run slower, right? There's a reason we are initially trying out with the cloud-based WebCR. We are signed up on Automation Anywhere and got the credentials, and the same credentials we'll be using to make the installation of and access to Automation Anywhere client interface. Right. Later in the last week, if you want, you can also do the on-premise installation. I can help you out with that on-premise installation of WebCR. And if you don't want to do that, not a challenge. I will be showing by installing WebCR on my machine, right? So I'll be showing that way as well. So you can have an experience of how do you use and what are the controls and options that you get, right? In case you do not have 8 GB of RAM and you try to install on-premises WebCR, then that would be a challenge and your machine might work very slow. So I will not recommend you to go ahead with on-premises WebCR if you do not have at least 8 GB of RAM. If you have at least 8 GB of RAM in your machine, then you can go ahead with that. Right, and yeah, it could be done on a virtual machine, but yeah, for that you need to purchase some space for the time being. Right. So yeah, that could be a possibility. So at this point, we are going to be going ahead with a cloud-based WebCR, because development part will be same what you do with cloud-based WebCR or the on-premises WebCR, right? Both are same things, but only the difference comes up when it comes to both administration and both deployment. That's where you get less options at cloud-based WebCR and you get more options at on-premises WebCR, right? That's where the difference comes into picture. Okay, so that's all that part will be as looking at only the end week. So we don't need to have much idea on that at this point of time, right? We don't need to have that much heavy infrastructure readily available with us at this point of time. In the last week, for the last session, we'll be looking at that cloud-based WebCR interface, the on-premises WebCR interface and installation steps for that as well. Okay, so are we good with that so far? So we are downloading already. The interface that we are currently downloading is Automation Anywhere enterprise client application. And for the sake of WebCR, we are going to use a cloud-based WebCR provided by Automation Anywhere, which you already signed in. So whenever you want to use your client interface, you will always need this credential. So make sure that you keep this email proper, and you will always need to refer to this email the moment you want to access this, the moment you want to access this client enterprise application. Okay. Yeah, no, it's not, .NET framework is not for programming, Chandra. It's just for the backend support, right? It's not something that we're going to program in .NET. Okay, it's just that .NET framework is needed to run the application. Okay, so we are not going to program in .NET at all with that. This question, can on-premises be done on VM? Yeah, it could be done on VM, right? It just, we need to do some settings for the firewall access and all, but yeah, that could be done on VM. So technically, yes, you can have the WebCR set up on your VM, which is separate, and client interfaces and separate machine, and you can connect them as well. So yes, technical way it is possible to have that kind of setup. Okay, so I hope we're good with this part, right? And once you're done with installation part, right, sorry, downloading part, you need to just double click on that enterprise application. So once you unzip this, right, if you try to unzip this, if I go to my D drive and let's say RPA, and so this is what you'll get, AA-CE-download, right? So once you no, Chandra, it will require MS SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server DB necessarily. Okay, that's for internal use, but yes, when it comes to connecting to any external database, it can connect to any external database, which is Oracle, which could be Oracle database for application development. So when it comes to boat development and you want to make a boat handle Oracle database, it is possible, right? But at least the backend of Automation Anywhere, it in the WebCR for storing up the boats and all, it uses MS SQL Server. Right, so the software is built on the top of MS SQL Server, so you need to have that. But yes, when it comes to using that software Automation Anywhere, if you want to build a boat which you want it to connect to Oracle database, that's possible. I hope I'm making the logic clear. Yeah. So great. So once you unzip this, everyone, you will be on this interface, and you will be getting these files. These files has a very good user guide for the client interface, and also for user guide for metaboards. These user guides are also going to be available in the LMS portal as well. And then you have community edition. You just need to double click on this, and you just need to double click on this, and click on install, and go ahead with next, next, next. Right. So you'll be here, and you just need to, in my case, it is already installed, so I'm going to say cancel. But in your case, it will be, you need to just click on next, 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 and install it. Right. No need to make any changes to that. Just next, 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 and you can install that easily. Right. So that's how you can set it up. We'll then discuss that how do we go about it, and start with developing a board. Right. So I hope you're all good so far. No, that's not required at this point. We don't need to install any database and make an instant. At this point, we are starting with a cloud-based web CR. So that's something that's not required. Okay. Okay. So Kamal, I hope, if you, as you are joined late, I'll quickly help you out with what we are doing here. So, we are trying to set up the automation anywhere client enterprise interface, so that we can, right, so that we can start with the installation part. So what we need to do is, you need to go ahead with this link which I'm sharing in the chat box, right? And once you go to this link, you will be getting this form, right? You will be getting this interface. If you click on this, you will get this interface. Okay, you just need to scroll down. There's an option of community edition version 11. Once you scroll down, you will get this form. Just fill this form, enter your name, surname, email ID, country, phone, check this, and click on download now. Once you do this, you will be receiving an email. So let me know once you're done with this part. Right, just confirm me once you're done with filling up this form and clicking on download now. There's a question, what do we need client URL link sent to us for? Right. So this particular link, Srinivas, is that the question? This link that you receive, or this link that you received from Automation Anywhere, or the one that you received from Cognitia? From Cognitia, that means you're talking about this email, right? So this email, the client interface contains the same setup. This contains the same setup which you have downloaded from the, which you are downloading currently from Automation Anywhere web CR, right? So this is the same setup, AE11. So we don't need to download this right now. You will need this segment specifically in case you want to set up your, in this control room thing we will need, right? So you're currently downloading the client part. So this is something that you are currently downloading from Automation Anywhere, the client interface. And no, plugin Java is not required. You can skip that. Just next, next, next. Whatever is selected by default, Sampada, you can go ahead with that. Okay. So no need to check the Java plugin. So Srinivas, the idea is that you're currently downloading this client interface itself from, whatever you downloaded is the same thing as what you have here. What is different is the control room. This control room interface is different. This you will need in case you want to set up on-premises web CR, right? So this email will help you out with the required setup and manual in case you want to use on-premises web CR, right? Yeah, the community edition Maniar is already available. So this is the community edition interface already available. This is actually a trial interface, so you can use this out as well. Or else the one you are already downloading. So this client interface is same as what you downloaded from here. Okay. So either you download this way, or you can already use the one provided from Cognitia. But in case you want to set up the, uh, in case you want to set up the, on-premises web CR, then you need to go for this part. So these are the two editions. You see, there are two options here. One is the enterprise edition, and another is the community edition. The community edition is free, but in that case, they don't allow you to use on-premises web CR. In the enterprise application, you need to download that, and you get a 30-day trial for on-premises web CR. So in enterprise application, you get the complete demo of fully flexible and working web control room, but it is only trial for 30 days, right? So it has more features and complete enterprise application the way you will be dealing in real development like that. So it is only but limited for 30 days, and after that you need to pay for that. But in community edition with limited at least for both, development is completely available, and you have complete free access as long as you want to use it. Okay, so that's the difference between community edition and enterprise edition. In enterprise edition, they have more features, and you have fully flexible, fully available, functional the web control room, which you don't get in enterprise in community edition, which you only get in enterprise edition. Right, the one that is provided, you can also download enterprise edition from here, and also the one that is provided to you from Cognitia is the enterprise edition example. Okay, so that's idea. Let me know if you're good with that. Okay, are we good? Let me know, Maniar, if that answers your question, the difference between community edition and enterprise edition. Okay, Sampada, if installation is complete, that's great. Let me know how many of you are done with installation part so far. Sure, Daniel. So the idea is that Sampada, I'm coming to you, on that point, right? So you need to pass the same credentials, the one that you received in email, Sampada, while accessing that client interface. But yeah, first thing, everyone, there are two options available over here. The community edition, which is completely free, enterprise edition, which is not free. Community edition is always available, you can access this all the time, but enterprise edition you can only access for 30 days, right? So but here you get the fully functional automation anywhere interface. Here you don't get fully functional, you get only the development part, almost fully flexible. Some components are not available in the community edition, right? So in the enterprise edition, you can set up your own premise web CR, but you cannot set up on premises web CR in the community edition, right? In the components, you don't get the mobile app access for the community edition, where you get the mobile app access for the enterprise edition, right? So you have and the RPA client enterprise application, so client interface application on premises, but the web CR is not on premises, but here complete on premises you have, right? And generally this is only for 30 days trial, this is not for 30-day trial. The web CR is on cloud, web CR is on premises, right? And that's main difference. Here you can only use this bot on 2 devices for 1 access, one sign up, and here you can use unlimited devices in general, right? So that's the idea. You don't get much of support in community edition, which you get in technical support a lot in the enterprise edition. That's the main difference, right? So in general, for learning perspective, the most suggested one at the initial point of time is community edition. Then once you are very good with the community edition, you have learned all the possible feature, then only you would want to shift to enterprise edition, right? The one that is given to you from Cognitia also, this is enterprise edition interface. Okay, are we good so far? So if you need to work on on-premise or hybrid, in that case, you need to go for enterprise edition. And for that, you need to fill this form. And if you don't want to fill this form, you already being provided for enterprise edition from Cognitia. So this software for control room and client, this is already the enterprise edition for the same automation anywhere. Community edition, the one that you have downloaded. So the one that you have downloaded client is community edition, and you also have community edition. Sorry, you also have client interface here, but this is enterprise application, right? So you already provided with enterprise edition of automation anywhere from Cognitia, which you can use. Okay, and yeah, that's the idea. I hope you're good. right? Now, how do we start with the software, everyone? So you need to, I need to go to Automation Anywhere Community Edition client interface. So the moment I open this, it will ask me for the, you know, if I go to this Automation Anywhere, Community Edition app. Okay, so in order to ensure that AE client service is running, I need to check with this part just a moment. Right, so in general, when you open the client, client interface, it will ask you for some authentication. You can mention the same control room URL as a server address, username and password, the same credentials you need to use on that. Okay, the same credentials you need to use on that. Right, just give me a moment. And in an authentication, you have to ask for user credentials. User credentials, the last option, user credentials. Okay, and let me check in my case, what's the issue? Okay, so I'll explain you, Daniel, just a moment. Let me, check for where's the issue I have. A client service. It seems to have some challenge with this. Is that challenge is there? Okay, I kind of need to check with this. Okay. Meanwhile, I hope you're good with this part, right? So I just give me a moment. I need to check with my setup. There seems to be some challenge with this. Just give me a moment. Yeah, say yes to that, Daniel. If it is saying that a client service may restart the automation anywhere services in the services panel, say OK to that. It might ask you for OK interface. Ensure that a client service is running. So now this community edition is giving me some tough time. And check with this way. Okay, so I hope all of you should be able to access this way, and once you start with Automation Anywhere Community Edition, you should be getting this interface like this, right? So you might be asked to log in with certain things, right? So for example, if I log out here with my current right, so it might ask you this kind of interface, right? When you try to access this out, if you're downloaded and completed the installation, Manyar and Daniel, Sampada, Srinivas, let me know if you completed the installation. It will ask you for this kind of interface. And Kamal, let me know if you're done with that and you did receive any email so far, right? So here you need to enter the same, Kamal, let me know if you have received any email so far. All done. Are you able to access the interface? That's great. Done at workbench interface. Great. So you are there on that, and you are done with installation as well. That's great to hear, right? So you just need to enter, everyone. You need to enter your web control room option here, username and the password. And once you enter the username password, which you have received here, so you will need always this email, to access this web control room, to access this client. So and the one of the drawback of community edition is what? You can't use this if you don't have internet connection. Yeah, no issues. So one of the other drawback of community edition is that this interface will not work, right, if you don't have the community edition. Kamal, I hope you downloaded the client interface from the control room itself, right? I hope you downloaded the Automation Anywhere Community Edition from the control room itself, right? You have received this email. This is the control room URL. This is the control room URL, username and password, right? So the same URL you need to pass when you access the client. Okay. So the idea is that everyone, one of the other drawback of community edition is that you can't use the community edition if you don't have internet connection, because this client interface always requires the web CR to be connected to make it work, because licenses are always verified from web control room, right? So if you don't have internet, license cannot be verified, and that's where it will not work out. So one of the other benefit of enterprise application is that enterprise edition is that you can also work with it without having internet access as well, right? So that's idea. Okay, so I hope we all are on this interface, right? And we all are on this dashboard of Automation Anywhere. So this is the client, client application dashboard, client interface dashboard for Automation Anywhere, right? So you will all done with setup, right? In the last week, I'll also show you, as I said, the access via the on-premises web CR and what are the functionalities that you get in on-premises web CR, right? So basically you get these kind of functionalities in the on cloud web CR, which includes you can go to activity, you can look at the boards which are in progress, the boards which are scheduled, the boards which are done with execution. You can see all the my boards, whichever are your boards available over here, which you can see that here, right? And you can see a couple of credentials which you can add over here. Create a credential for a new username, the devices which are connected, right? And the workload which is available, right? So these are a couple of functionalities you get, but these are very less of all functionalities which are actually available in the on-premises web CR. Okay, so well, let's now get started with the further stuff, right? So what we have seen till yesterday is we discussed about the idea of what is robotics process automation and what are do's and don'ts, and the advantages, disadvantages of robotics process automation. What are the different types of products? We are starting with one of the product, which is Automation Anywhere, and we have seen what should be the project life cycle for any RPA project, right? And then we started with introduction to Automation Anywhere. We have discussed the architecture of Automation Anywhere, which includes, Automation Anywhere is one of the product from Automation Anywhere company, and it's used for developing boards, right? So that's where it's one of the most popular RPA product. These are a couple of applications. Mainly we focused on understanding the architecture of Automation Anywhere application, interface. right? So in the architecture segment, we mainly have a boat development axis. You can say a boat developer, then a boat runner. The current interface that you downloaded, the client interface, can be used for boat runner and boat development both. So it can be used for both kind of stuff. But in general, when it comes to deployment, we only buy a boat runner license and use that for deploying boats, right? So how do we create licenses and how do we access licenses? That part also we'll be able to see later. All right, then we have web control room. Web control room is a central control room for managing multiple boats and handling them up, right? Where you can do the scheduling, uploading, deleting, execution of boat, manage the multiple boats running up, queue them up, right? And which systems are connected and how many boats can be executed on those connected systems. This all management or boat management could be done. Administration of boats could be done with the WebCR, right? Which includes user management, source control, dashboard, license management, and version control as well, right? Are we good with that? Okay, so that's the idea we have discussed out. Then we discuss out the idea of features of a control room, which includes centralized automation deployment, centralized workforce management. Important components include the boat creator, boat runner, boat insight, boat store, and three types of boats we discussed: task boats, meta boats, and IQ boats, right? So task boats are used for front-end automation, easy rule-based tasks, and using structured data, and meta boats for slightly complex and unstructured data, sorry, semi-structured data, and complex and scalable process. For them we use them. IQ boats, very complex and unstructured data, and where we want to use AI plugins with boats, that's where we use IQ boats, right? So these are the interfaces we discussed. Now, how do we start with the in general, today's agenda is that after once we are done with the setup part, we need to also get introduced to this interface, and then we'll start with some commands in the later half of the session today. So the other agenda is we need to get introduced about what are the functionalities and tools available over here and how do we work with them. Okay, so on the right hand side panel, you can see of this software, right? Over here, this interface, you can see this is more for different types of boat. So in task, you can create task boats, right? So here you can create task boats. Then when you click on meta boats option, you can create meta boats. Here you have boat store option and generating workflows as well. So if I go to multiple of these options, I can click on meta boats where I can create meta boats. I have a couple of meta boats created. So if you look at the task boats, the extension file for task boat is what? ATMX. So whenever you create a boat, the extension for boat is ATMX. .ATMX is the extension for task boats. Make sure that you remember this. This could be the possible question in the certification exam. What is the extension for task boats? And what is the extension for meta boats? The extension is .mboat, right? Then you have boat store option where you can, uh, you have multiple boats available and connects to internet and gives you the interface of downloading and purchasing the boats, right? So on boat store, you can see that we have variety of built-in boats already available, and you can get the boats according to the domain from the boat store where the development is already done, and you just download that, plug in that with your application, right? So you can see that kind of boats available for finance and accounting, human resource, information technology, inventory management, so on and so forth, multiple categories available, right? And you can see, explore this boat store where you have variety of boats available. This will help you out to get understanding and intuition about what kind of boats could be developed as well, right? So notify with Slack on a record update for vendor X. This is for sales. Human resource, digital workday feedback assistant, right? So these are different boats for create outbound delivery, perform various Outlook operations, shut down computer. That could be a specific boat, right? Check for sales for updates and run query to get sales data, right? So these are different types of boats available which you can download and buy from boat store. Then workflow, wherein you can kind of design multiple boats and how multiple boats can combine with each other, collaborate with each other, and execute a business process together, right? That's where you can develop the workflow, where you can import multiple boats and make them work in a collaborative manner. right? So these are the 4 types of options that you get. Similar option is also there for IQ board, which is not available with this interface at this point of time, but yes, that's something that could be done, right? So we have task boards option, meta boards option, board store, and workflows option. So initially we'll be focusing on task boards and understanding that how do you develop task boards with different options, right? In my case, as you can see, there are a couple of boards already developed. All options are available. You may not be having that, but yes, we'll check out that, right? So I hope you're good with this part. I didn't get your question, Sampada. Are there anything out of box in this sense? Okay. All right. In the sense, I still, okay. Let me, yeah. Metabots board store, right? So yeah, Metabots is there. Board store is there. So yeah, these are the all options that you have. And workflows, anything out of box things in this sense, right? So workflows mainly, is used to manage the collaboration of multiple boards to execute a particular business process. Okay, maybe I looks like I couldn't get your question properly, or maybe it might get answered once you go ahead. Right. So yeah, talking about task boards here, the extension is .atmx, and for metaboards .mbot, like that. And whenever you talk about task boards, you get a lot of options. So the options are, you can see, if you want to repeat a particular board period of time, you can do that. So repeating the execution of board. So if you want a board to be executed 10 times, you can also change the speed at which a board runs. Notification generates the hotkey to run a board. If you want to assign some security, let's see, name and sort of password. Stealth mode, in the sense, this is the important part. So stealth mode, when you say stealth mode, that means even if your computer is logged, right, it is active, but your machine is logged, so the bot will be able to log into your computer and do the task. So let's say that you have scheduled this bot to be executed on 8 p.m. in the night, right? And at 7:50 p.m. or at exact 8 p.m. your computer is active but it is logged. So this bot will be able to log into your computer, right, and as a user, and will be able to execute the task in the background, right? And disabled mouse and keyboard for this task, things like that. Analytics you can perform, enable analytics for the task. You can also schedule a bot as well whenever you want to schedule. Now these all are for running and testing on the in-premises part. These are not from web CR part, right? You trigger the bot whenever a certain thing happens. For example, whenever a folder opens, whenever a new file opens, whenever folder is deleted, right? So you can trigger the bot, let's say, whenever a file. So if I select the file name, an action is when the file is created, it is deleted, it is renamed, or it is modified. So you can create a bot and create a rule for that bot that, well, whenever this file is created, run this kind of bot. Whenever this file is deleted, run this kind of bot, right? That's how we can trigger the bots with different conditions. Right? So trigger option you get here. So these are different methods and options that you get. For example, if I trigger type, if I go for process, right? So whenever the process starts or the process stops, I want to trigger the bot. I just need to select the process. Let's say email message, right? So whenever new email arrives, I want to run the bot. So I need to pass the host port number, username, and password for that, right? And that's so whenever any new email arrives out, we can run the bot, right? So these are different options that we get to control the properties of the bot, trigger them in specific situations, schedule the execution of bots as well, and change the properties in terms of speed, repetition, notification, security, hotkey, and analytics part, right? So these are different options that we get with the uh, the properties of the bots, right? So that's main idea. Okay, now let's start with the understanding of bot creation as well, and look at the idea that what could be the possible options that we might get with bot creation. So let me show you a quick demo, then we will wait and you'd want to try out with that, right? So at this point, I hope all of you have access to this interface, right? So we'll see a demo and then you can give a try with that. Okay, and then we'll look at a couple of basic functionalities. So today we'll try to explore a couple of functionalities of task boards and understand them out, and you can try out with that. And then we'll start with a fully planned way in a structured manner, step by step, learning all the commands. Okay, so let's say that we want to simply record stuff, right? So at this point, if I want to create a new board, what I can do is I can go to new option. When I click on new option, right? So you don't do that right now. First, let's see here, and then you can do that. Okay. So you have option of smart recorder, screen recorder, web recorder, multiple option, or else I can click on workbench. So workbench helps us out to create a new task board from beginning, right? From scratch, right? So don't do it right now. You can do that later, right? And on the workbench, if you look at this, right? So this is where you can create a task boards, and it's very easy interface because it's more of drag and drop. You don't need to do any programming. Okay. So for example, if I want to do something over here, so I can see that here I have some commands. So these are all commands in the task board, right? So active directory, app integration. So you integrate Internet Explorer, Firefox, anything like that, Java applet, Java application, Telnet, Unix, Shell, anything like that. Clipboard, from clipboard you want to copy something, assign some values to clipboard. Comment, database connection. So you want to connect to any kind of database or SQL query you can execute on that database, right? Delay, you want to put email automation, get email, read email, delete email. Error handling, connect to Excel commands, get cell, active cell, delete cell. Files and folders, renaming, zipping, unzipping, right? These are all commands we have. FTP, SFTP, if else, all the loops and conditional stuff we have here. Image recognition, insert keystroke, button and mouse click, you want to execute something on that. Mouse move, mouse scroll, internet connection, IQ bot option, launch website, log to file. You have loop option, for loop, while loop, each row in a SQL server, sorry, SQL query table, each row in an Excel table, each row in a database table, each row in a CSV file. Windows control, message box. There are a variety of such commands. There are more than 500 commands available, including commands and commands. That means if you just uh, expand this, so there are more than 500 commands available uh, over here with automation in your command library, which can help us out to connect to any kind of service, right? The way to use this command is very simple. So if I want to create a test board which should be let's say able to do some tasks, so I can simply drag and drop. Let's say that I want to create a message box, so drag and drop message box here, simply drag and drop, and it'll ask me what I want to do with that. So well, I want to simply say hello world, how are you? And this is where I created a message box and save it. So you got a command here, you see hello world, how are you? Similarly, for any command, it's nothing but drag and drop interface, right? So you don't have to do coding over here for developing boards. Okay, and that's where we created this out. Now we can simply save this. I can say that today's date is what, uh, October 06 underscore board 1. So it is saved with the .atmx extension. If you look over here, so it is saved with October 06 board 1.atmx. So whenever you create a board with task boards, it gets saved with .atmx extension. Now I can click on run option to run this board. And this board simply is gonna say, hello world, how are you? That's it, right? That's a sample board we created, right? So with task boards, the interface is very easy, simply drag and drop and you can create any kind of board. But this is not the only thing that you have. It's very powerful than it seems. And we have more than 500 commands, library of 500 commands which we can use, right? Now let's build a bot which can do a particular task, right? And then you would give a try with that. So let me show you that how do you do that with the screen recorder. Before that, there's a question. These are more specific to Windows platforms. So what about other operating systems? And no. So Daniel, we generally, when it comes to these boards, many of these boards with any platform supports mainly Windows operating system, because RPA is made for RPA is made for enterprise application, right? For example, the companies like which are in banking, finance, healthcare. Many of these organizations use Windows operating system for running ERP solutions, right? That's the reason when it comes to RPA platform, the most focus is given to Windows operating system. Okay, compared to other operating systems. Then the second level support you get for Mac. But yes, as many of the enterprise applications, they don't use Mac, they use Windows for running up the software, ERP tools and solutions. Linux is mainly used by developers, right? So developers use that, and developers do not need to run the ports. Only the enterprises need to run the port where they make use of mainly Windows operating system. For example, enterprises in banking, finance, healthcare work with Excel, right? And Excel is mainly available in Windows, and you can use them in Windows very well. So they mainly support and prefer using Windows. That's where many of these product development companies have given majority of the focus to Windows operating system, and these are very heavy, so we never use them on IoT devices, right? So like running a boat and setting up the infrastructure is heavy, so we don't use Tally on IoT devices. We don't use Excel, PDF, internet, email on IoT devices. So these boats are not for controlling such things. But yes, you can say from Windows these boats can be made to control data captured from such IoT devices, right? That could be other task. If that's a repetitive task, that's where we can use this. Okay, so let's build a sample boat with this. So I'm going to close this workbench and coming back to the over here. So in the record option, you can see that we have three types of recorders: smart recorder, screen recorder, and web recorder. The best recorder is smart recorder, wherein it could be used to record any kind of interface and works very smoother and better, right? So let's say that I'm going to select first the screen recorder right over here, and let me show an example with building a boat with screen recorder. So I'm going to select screen recorder and click OK on that, and then click on record option. So currently it will start with screen recorder. As you can see that on the bottom right corner, there's a recording option available. So now whatever I'm going to do, the every action is being recorded by the Automation Anywhere screen recorder. So I'm going to press start plus R button in my computer, start and R. So when I do start and R, it opens a run window. I'll press backspace and right here unshoe, but that's not an application. I'll again press backspace, 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 press notepad, and then press enter over here. So start plus R, and then I have written some stuff, and then press enter over here. It opens up a notepad. I'm gonna say hi, hello, from a demo boat. So typing something up, typing something up, typing something up, typing something up. These are some tasks that I have done. Now I'm going to go to this option, click on stop. Name this boat as, I'm going to delete this file, don't save, and name this boat as oct_06 boat 2. Created a boat here. So you can see that we have boat which is oct0 boat 2, and with the screen recorder it has already done programming for us. So if I go ahead and see edit option for it, we can see we have programming done for this, which we can edit. So every task that we have done is being recorded. So Windows down, up, backspace, unshoe, backspace, 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 not B, backspace, pad, enter, run, and then hi, and then all these keywords are written. So it's being recorded and the command is already generated for that, right? To run this, I can just select this and click on run option, right? So it will run this particular board. Let me run this board and see the output, right? So you can see that it will start, it will wait for some time because we waited, and then it will press start plus R and open the run window. After waiting for some time, it will, because we waited initially while doing description. So in my case also, my boat is going to wait for some time and press start plus R. It has pressed start plus R. Then it's going to write unshoe over there. Then erase that. Then going to write notepad, where it will make a spelling mistake because I did, and then it has written notepad. And right here, hi. And whatever the text I have written earlier, same set of text is gonna write down over here, right? So I'm not doing that, right? It's writing that in a different window. Looks like what there might be a different window opened out, right? So you can see it is writing the same text like this, and then it's going to stop the execution. Right, so done with that. Right, so this is where we have executed a bot. So we have created a bot which does a specific task. We have performed the task. The bot has captured our actions, and then every time we run the bot, it's going to do the same task. We can also schedule this bot to get executed on a specific time as well. Right, so this screen recorder can be used to record a task. Let's say that, and I can use screen recorder to develop a bot which does a task of what, accessing a software and simply entering some data and clicking OK on that, which would be the task of capturing data from Excel and entering into different ERP solutions step by step. That could be a task of screen recorder. Right. So the use of screen recorder could be that whenever we want to perform automation on the top of a GUI based application, we can train a screen recorder. But screen recorders are usually not very accurate. That's the reason we, rather than using screen recorder, we prefer using smart recorders. But yes, as it is an option available, and it mainly works on the top of keystrokes and mouse clicks. Right. But as keystrokes and mouse clicks may keep on changing, if the interface of screen changes, our screen recorders may get confused and may not work very well. That's where instead of using screen recorder, we prefer using smart recorders. But yes, as it is an option, we are just understanding that what is screen recorder and how does it works out. Okay, are we good with that? So do you want to give a try to this, right? So you can go ahead and give a try to screen recorder, try to develop a bot with that and get an experience about how to use automation in your tool interface and how do we work with this. Okay, I hope it's fine, right? And you want to go ahead with that. So go ahead and give a try to this. Okay, try to develop a bot and let me know if it works for you. Yes, Kamal, let me know if you have any question. Oh, I'm going fast. I'm sure. I'm really sorry, and I'm gonna go slow. So let me know if you want me to repeat this part. Sure. So let me repeat this part, everyone, and then you may want to give a try to this, right? So let me repeat, everyone. I'm repeating this exercise, and then you may want to give a try after that. Okay. So here we go. So initially, so how do you develop the bot is, I mean, we are starting with a recorder. In case of recorder, as we can see that we have three options: smart recorder, screen recorder, and web recorder. Smart recorder is a very high performing recorder, and it is more powerful than screen recorder and also web recorder as well. Smart recorder works on the application interface, and it doesn't require the exact resolution and exact set of application and screen as it was earlier available. But screen recorder is less powerful, and web recorder also lesser powerful than smart recorder. Web recorder is mainly used for capturing data from web pages, let's say Internet Explorer, or on that any HTML table you want to extract, anything like that, you can use web recorder. We'll see a demo to web recorder as well, right? But before that, we are first working on smart screen recorder. So in the recorder option, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the screen recorder interface, right? So I'm going to click on screen recorder. So screen recorder is selected, right? As we can see here, screen recorder is selected. Okay, so if you want, you can also do step by step with me, and but I would suggest you to first look at this and then give a try with that, right? So here we have selected the screen recorder. So the moment you click on record option now, by default it will start the and now we're going to click on record option. Right, so the moment we started clicked on record option, as you can see that on the bottom right corner it has started recording, right? So whatever steps that we do now, the recorder will record those steps, right? So I'm going to do a step of pressing start and R button, start and R. So when you do start and R, it opens this interface of run window, right? When you press start plus R, it opens up the run window. And I can go ahead here and press backspace and say something like, uh, do the task of opening Notepad. So I can say NOTEPAD. Once I have written this Notepad, I can press enter. Okay. It opens up a Notepad window like this. Now on this Notepad, so we are doing a task, opening Notepad and writing some stuff. Let's say I'm going to write my details, name, Anshu Pandey, right? Age is 41, let's say, and which is not correct. And city could be Surat, and country could be possibly, let's say, India, right? So yeah, that could be possibly my detail, and I can simply say that, well, this is where it's run. Right, now I may want to say Alt or F4 or Control S. So I may want to say Control S. It might open a window like this, and I might say that, well, demo, like that, and then it is on. Let me go ahead and click on stop. So we're done. We have created a task, right? So we recorded a task. So scan recorder has recorded this task, in which we open start plus R, clicked on written notepad out there, press entered, written some text, saved it. Make sure that you make maximum use of buttons, keyboard buttons, rather than using mouse icon, right? So file name, and we mentioned file name is oct06 board 3, right? So that's what we have done here. And I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to also remove that demo as well from here, so that it, right, and here we are, right? So we have created this oct6 board 3. Are we good so far till here? Everyone, are we good till here? Let me know, Kamal, if you're good. Are we good? Maniar, I hope we are good so far, right? Now I can simply run this board. So I can go ahead and right click on this and say run. That will run the board, right? So here we are executing the board. So it should do the same task now. So you see now it should wait for some time, and as after opening the starter recorder, we were waiting for some time. Then I pressed start plus R. So it should also press start plus R, and that's how the bot will be able to open the run window. So it has opened the window. Now it should write notepad, NOTEPAD, right? So I'm not doing this job, right? The bot is doing this job. Okay, the bot is executing, and the bot is doing the same process what I was doing out, right? So it's going to write NOTEPAD, which includes name Anshu Pandey and age, an incorrect age, and it's going to enter the city and the country and say, right, it will take the same time which I was taking while entering the details. We can increase that time and change the speed at which it does. We can also add variables to the data it makes, that's sort of stuff we can do here. Okay, so it has written that content. Oh, it has written the content to a different file, looks like. there was a different file open out there. It has written the content to a different file. Now it's gonna save that there by writing demo, right, and click on enter, and it has done the execution. Okay, so that's how we got the bot completely getting executed here, right? Let me close this. In my case, it has your bot stuck up on row line 7. Okay, so you need to check that what is that you written on line 7. Is that something you have clicked on different file or window, which is not available currently? If that's the thing, right? Make sure that you haven't made use of okay, that way you can see that if it is a mouse click, it may be possible your whatever click that you have done while doing the recording, your bot may not have found out that, right? So before that, everyone, if you're good with this part, I would recommend you to give a try with screen recorder. Try to record a sample notepad app, use case application where you open the notepad and the bot has to open the notepad, write some data, and enter the details, right? So that's something that needs to be done. Okay, so I hope we are good with that. Maniyar, Chandra, we are good. So give a try, Maniyar, Daniel, Francis, Kamal, Srinivas, Sampada, give a try with that, right? Meanwhile, if you have any question, put that in chat box. We'll work out with the questions and queries. So give a try with this bot. Let me know if you are able to successfully resolve that, do that. And in case not, you're getting some issue, we'll resolve that out for sure. Okay. Okay, so there's a question, cannot find a window or application titled Cortana that was open during recording and error occurred at line number 7. So Sampada, what has happened is, right, that you might have used Cortana window or by default, by mistake, start window would have opened, right? Because this window is Cortana window. Sorry, this window is Cortana window. This window is called as Cortana window in Windows 10. So this would have got opened. That could be a challenge. So go to line 7, and if it is something Cortana, you can either delete that and then go ahead with that. Just edit the bot, and when you edit it, you can also delete a specific line as well. Okay, so you can delete a specific line from here. So you can see that whatever the bot has learned is being shown here. So you can delete a specific line in which it is asking for. So you can see that it is wherever it is asking for whatever details, you can delete that. Where you think that this is suspicious, give a try with that. Let me know if it doesn't work. We'll resolve the issue. Or else you can also give a try recapturing the screen, reusing the screen recorder. Okay, so give a try and let me know if you get any error with that. In case you get any error, any query that you have, please let me know in chat box, right? So for Daniel, the bot completed and it worked very well, right? So let me know if I'm understanding correct, Daniel. So it worked for you and you could run the bot. It could successfully complete the execution. To re-execute the bot, but make sure that you would have deleted the file if it has saved the file. But yeah, that's where if the file exists and you don't you want to overwrite, that's where we have enter for overwrite, right? We'll also see, Daniel, at a later stage, how can we add variable to the file name. That's where we can get the file name saved every time with a different name. Let's say demo1, demo2, demo3. Every time we run the boot, it should create a different file. Demo1, demo2, demo3. How do we do that part? That way we'll not have to overwrite it. Are we good with the logic? Right, so we'll see multiple ways of doing the same task. This was a basic task where we were using screen recorder. Okay, Mania, let me check what's the error they're getting out. Okay, so you see, Mania, what you can do is, if this is my bot, right? Now in between, if you read the error, cannot find currently available, right? So no, it's not a pause. I think you should be able to hear me. Okay, so first, let me help him out. I am audible to others. All right, so first thing, Manier, if you read the error, that means there is a search window available, which was right there available now, but now it's not accessible, right? So what you can do is you can just go ahead and right click and edit option on the boot, and you'd be able to see the complete, step-by-step implementation. Now you can check out what is the fifth line, because you're getting the error on line number 5, right? So you might be having a fifth line. In your case, you might be having a fifth line in which the bot might be using any search window, which is now not accessible. If you can find that, you can just delete that particular line by right click and delete that line as well, right? Delete the line if it works very well. Otherwise, you can also do the re-recording of it. And it is very logical to get these kind of errors in screen recorder, as it is not a very accurate recorder and it doesn't work very well in dynamic scenarios. Right? That's the reason we generally prefer using smart recorder over screen recorder. Okay. Let me know if you're good with that, everyone. So Sampada, let me know if it works for you. Srinivas, let me know if it works for you. Kamal, let me know if the board thing worked for you. Manyar, let me know. Francisco, let me know. Or else if you already set up this part. So it's working for Kamal and it's done. It's also working for Daniel as well, right? Others, if you can confirm me, right? So Francisco, if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, please help me out with that as well. And there's some noise here, everyone, please avoid that today. We can expect this noise as there's some festive season going over here. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me help you out with the setup part, right, in a quick shot, right? So what you need to do is you need to just go to this link, which is not this one, uh, over here. Yeah, this link. So you need to just go to this link, and on this link, you need to just click on, you will get this option, get the platform to match your needs, stuff like that, right? The form on community edition, enter your name enter your surname, enter your email, country, phone, and company. Click on just check icon and click on download now. Right. So once you do this step, you should be receiving an email like this, where control room URL, username, and password. So once you receive this, let me know. Right. So once you're done with this part, you fill the form and receive the email. Let me know once you're done with that step. Then I'll help you out with further installation steps. Okay. I hope you're good, right? You could reach to this URL with the link I have shared in the chat box and just fill this form. Okay. Meanwhile, Maniyar and Sampada Srinivas, if you're done with installation part, let me know. And Sampada and Maniyar, let me know if you could resolve the error, or else I would recommend you to give it right again. And you know, uh, okay, I hope you're good. No issues, Srinivas. You can try it again. No, not a challenge with that. Right, everyone? Okay. So, Francis, once you fill up the form, you should be receiving an email like this, right? You just need to click on this, enter your username and password. Once you enter the username and password, you will be redirected on a link like this and log into here. From the home page, you just need to click on download client, and that is it. Once you download the client, you are good to go ahead with that. Okay. So meanwhile, if you're trying out, everyone, let's take a short break of 10 minutes around and resume after that, right? And meanwhile, you can give a try or take some break and we'll go further with this part. And in that break, Francis, I'll request if you can get it downloaded, you can start with the download. That would be great so that you'll also have the infrastructure set up with you, right, for the next back in next 10 minutes. So it's working for many. Great to hear that. Okay, so let's take a short break, everyone, and see you in 10 minutes. Yeah, so welcome back. Looks like I had some issue with the audio part. All right, so welcome back, and I hope we're good, right? So it worked for Srinivas as well, and it worked for Maniar. Let me know. So it worked for Kamal as well. Sampada, let me know if it worked for you. Francis, let me know if you could, download, start the download part for the Automation Anywhere client community edition. Right. So I hope we are good so far, right? So at this point, I believe that now we have the infrastructure ready and the setup ready for the port development purpose, right? And we are good to go ahead with learning task board command lines, the command interfaces, which we can use to create different types of task boards, right? And we are good to start with our learning process of understanding these tools and this particular tool and getting good with the tool Automation Anywhere, right? So that's going to be our agenda from now onwards, right? So we are done with that setting up part. Okay, so at initial part today we are going to spend time on understanding the tool and some basic functionalities of it. How do we use that? Mainly we're going to be spending time on learning out three types of recorders. So one type of recorder we already experienced, which is screen recorder. We're going to now try out the next type of recorder, which could be smart recorder, right? And how does that works out? With screen recorder, screen recorder works on the top of keystrokes, that means keyboard buttons, and mouse clicks. But keystrokes and mouse clicks are not very reliable ways of building the boards and targeting the actions. So you can expect a lot of errors with keystrokes and uh, mouse clicks, right? That's why these are not reliable way to use that out. So that's where we need to have more reliable technique, and we get one of the solution to that, which is smart recorder, right? So yeah, that's idea. Okay, so here we go. So let's take now the next recorder, right? First thing we are going to try out is, let's say, as we can see that here we have three options of recorders: web recorder, and smart recorder, and screen recorder. For a web recorder, we have to just pass a URL over here, which could be used for accessing web data, right? And it could be used for capturing any kind of data set from web interfaces and collecting data. Generally, the data kind of data that you may want to collect uh, includes the web HTML tables, right? So that kind of URLs you may want to capture. Okay, so by default, we generally in web recorder, it makes use of Internet Explorer as an browser. But yes, with smart recorder, you can also work on other browsers as well, right? So by default, when you use web recorder, it considers using Internet Explorer. Okay, so if you go about that, and so let's work with a use case here in which we're going to be using a web recorder, and our task is to capture data from one IE interface, right? Just a moment, looks like I just give me a moment. So our task is to create a web recorder in which we will try to load data or extract some data from a web page which is opened in Internet Explorer. So by default, it uses Internet Explorer, but as we discussed that with Smart Recorder, it is possible to use any other browser as well. Okay, so let's start with that. Right, so what we need to do is, for this part, in the record option we need to select web recorder. So let me do the task here and then you will go ahead with that. Right, so you can give a try with that after I show you an example here. So in the record option we need to click on web recorder and then we can click on record option. Okay, so let me click on record option now. So it is asking for the URL. Right, so the moment we enter the URL here, it will start the URL in a new window. Right, so we can enter the URL of any web page from where we want to capture data. We can capture both kind of data. It could be a sample text, or it could be an HTML table as well. Right, so let's see what kind of data we're going to capture in this case. All right, so we can capture data from any website in general, but let's say that we have a website which is coinmarketcap.com. So this website every day updates the data of cryptocurrencies on this particular portal, CoinMarketCap. Okay, so if I go to this website, we can see that we have data of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Tether, and Bitcoin Cash. I'm going to click on Bitcoin option over here. So we can see that we have the data of Bitcoin, right, which is shown here like this. We can also get the tabular data by clicking on historical data. And here we have historical data of this. I'm just going to copy the URL, paste in the chat box so that you can also use this URL as well. Right now, what we need to do in a web recorder, we just need to pass this record, URL here to our web recorder option and click on start option. The moment you click on start, everyone, it will open this URL in Internet Explorer. So let me click on start and it will open this URL in the Internet Explorer. We have to just say okay. I'm going to check this, don't show this message again. So just need to say okay. So now it will start Internet Explorer, and in Internet Explorer, it will open this web page. You need to wait till the complete web page is loaded, at least for recording option. Okay, so we need to wait here till the complete web page is loaded. Right, as you can see, the complete web page is loaded. Now, what are the options that we have? We can extract specific data. We can extract table. Right, these two kind of options. So specific data is more of we can extract any generic data, and table is something wherein we can extract any specific HTML table. So I'm going to click on extract table. Right, then I'm going to scroll down here. As you can see that there is a data of Bitcoin prices in a HTML table over here. So I just need to click on this table to be able to extract this data. So you see, the moment I'm over my cursor, it is selecting this table. That means the cursor is identifying that there is a HTML table over here, right? So I just need to click on this once, right? The moment I click once on this, it will simply extract the table and show us the data in the form of HTML table like this. So it has extracted the data, as you can see that, which is from October 5th, right? I mean till October 5th from September 6th. Right, we can also click on the table spans across multiple pages as well, in case we want. We can say next. So table number 1, and if you want to store this data in a specific CSV file, and if it already exists, we can append that. So I'm going to click on append to an already existing file, or create a new CSV file. So I'm going to say that simply I want to save this file in D drive RPA, and I'm going to create a folder called October 2019. Right, and here I'm going to save this as demo.csv, or let's say Bitcoin data.csv. Open. So it will simply save this data with the name Bitcoin data.csv. Okay, we can also say append to already existing file if you want. Click on finish option. Done with that, we can also record other data sets as well. So if you scroll down, there is one more HTML table here, which is this one. So I can click on extract table and go to this also if you want, right? This is not a necessity, right? So I can click on this table as well, and in general I can cancel this. If you want, you can also record this table as well. So I'm going to click on stop recording option at this point. So we have only captured one table. So we got a web recorder. I'm going to say October uh, underscore 06 boat 4. Okay, so we have October 06 boat 4. If we edit this boat, we can see that these are the commands that we are using. So open this and extract table from this and export this to export this to simply a specific file, right? So a specific file we want to export this to, right? So that's what we are trying to do here. Okay, these are the tasks that you're following up. Okay, so let's go to this and let me run this out, right? So what it should do is it should open this web page, and I'm going to close this and it extract table and create a file. If you see here right now, I don't have any file here, right? It's in the RPA in October 2019 folder. I don't have any file here. The folder is empty. So let me go ahead and run the boat, right? So I'm going to run the boat. So it should go to the URL, capture the data, and store that data in a CSV file. Done it is, right? So the moment it goes up, it's done. If I go to this, I can see that we got a CSV file called Bitcoin data, and it has captured the data like this. All right, so that's how we can do it quite easily. Okay, so that's how it is possible to use a web recorder, which can be used to do a task related to a web interface, right? So you may want to give a try to this. Give a try and check it out if it works. If you want me to repeat again, let me know. We will also check, Daniel. There are different methods for fetching email and downloading the attachment. We have direct command for that. We'll also check that as well later. So yes, it is possible to do this kind of task with web recorder, right? So if I show you that in the workbench, we have that kind of command which will be checking out later um, as a part of learning this out, right? So if I look at web recorder command interface, we have multiple options: download file, extract table, button, find broker links, extract data, stuff like that. As a part of email automation as well, we have this multiple option in which you can see that get all email, delete all email, and all, right? There's multiple options we have. So yes, these options are available, and we are going to check out similar examples as well. Saving attachment and in a separate file or a folder. So at this point, you may want to give a try to this. I have already pasted the URL in the chat box. Give a try. Let me know if it works for you. The bot, which should be capable of capturing data from coinmarketcap.com and providing you data for that, right? That is the interface you need to give a try with, and let me know if it works for you. You can store that in whenever you go for extract data table and click on next, it will ask you the location. You can save it anywhere, Srinivas. So once you extract the data table and it shows you the table in automation anywhere window, the moment you click next, it will ask you where do you want to store it. So there you can pass the CSV file location where you want to store it, and you can generally store it anywhere, wherever you want. Okay, so it work. It Kamal is done with that. It's working for him. Others, let me know if you can confirm me if it is working for you. So you so far checked out, the web recorder and the screen recorder. We'll also, we are yet to check out the idea of smart recorders as well, right? So generally, web recorders are used for internet-based application in which you may want to capture data from somewhere, and you may want to store your data as well, right? So that's where for capturing data, writing data, entering data. For these kind of tasks, we make use of web recorders. We also have a variety of commands as well for them. So give a try with web recorder, and please confirm me in chat box in case you're done with that, if it is working very well for you. Okay, so Kamal is done with that. Srinivas is done with that. Great. Others, take your time. Don't be in hurry, right? And as we are in learning phase, we shouldn't be in hurry, right? So take your time and let me know once you're done with that. Okay, so Daniel is trying with a different site, looks like. No issues. Yeah, it should be just you should have HTML table. So let me also try out with that site and check if it has an HTML table with it. If it has, I can show an example with that. We'll see, Srinivas, where can we manage with the delays part, right? So let me check if it has HTML table with it. So I think this looks like an HTML table, and this is, I guess you're trying it out. So Maniyar is also done with that. Okay, so I think this looks like an HTML table, and I hope Daniel, you might be trying out to capture this one. So let me also pass this URL, and with my recorder, right? So I'm gonna click on a web recorder. Sorry, select web recorder, enter this URL, click on start option. I has encountered a problem during recording. What is that? So yeah, it has opened here. So now we may want to capture the table, this table, right? So I can say extract table, and yeah, it is accepting this table. I just need to click on this table, right? So okay, you are getting the same error. I has encountered a problem while recording. So we need to wait for some, you need to click OK. Sometimes, it is not able to revoke Internet Explorer. So you might get error. So you need to just say OK and try it again. It will work out very well, right? So you can see that we could capture this out and click on next option. Browse here where you want to save your table. So I want to save here with, let's say, blockchain data, blockchain data dot csv, and click on finish. Stop recording. Out 06 bot 5. And if I run this, I should be able to launch Internet Explorer and open a website in that, capture data and store data out of it. Right? Let's see if it worked out. So yes, we have blockchain data available over here, and it could capture this data. Let me know if it works for you. Yeah, check it out. So this was the idea of how do we use web recorders. Right, so there's a question, where are these ATMX files stored in local? So if you go to your documents, right, in the documents there is a folder of automation anywhere, right, where generally these documents will be stored. So you can see in the document, in my documents, there'll be a folder called automation anywhere files, right, automation anywhere files, and here automation anywhere, and in this case you will have folder called my tasks, and that's where you can see all the ATMX files are being saved. So in documents, automation anywhere files, in that automation anywhere and my tasks. So here this is the local directory of it. So my scripts, my reports, my metaboards, my docs, all of the files are here, right? So whatever driver file you create, those are being saved here. Right, so it worked for Daniel as well. So I hope we all are good, right? Anyone have any queries so far? Are we all good? Good to go ahead? Great, thanks for the confirmation, Sampada. Great, so it worked for almost all of you, I believe. Francis, let me know if you have, I hope the understanding is clear. Maybe you may not have the setup readily available at this point of time. And Chandra, let me know if the logic is clear, any question that you have, as you also do not have setup readily available. And I expect you would be able to give a try with that, right? So Francis and Chandra, you can, I would surely recommend you to look at the video of this particular session, and after the session, and you would be able to understand how do we go ahead with installing and setting up this, and that would help you out to get your setup ready and go ahead further with it. Okay, so now next part is we're going to look at the idea of smart boards. So smart boards are smarter, as the name itself is smart board. They are smarter than screen board recorders and web recorders as well. So generally web recorder has a limitation that it works with Internet Explorer, but smart board can work with Windows applications, can work with browsers and everything. So you can use smart board for anything, like the Internet Explorer to Chrome and any other operating system, sorry, any other files in the operating system. You can use smartboards for that, right? Might be having an example of smartboard, maybe this one, right? So they use a method called object cloning, and using object cloning method, you can use smartboard for regular applications. So let's see how do we use smartboard. So I'm going to show you a demo, and then you can give a try with that. With the smartboard, we'll also see the idea of how do we trigger that with multiple examples, scheduling, repeating the task, increasing the speed of the task as well. Multiple of these functionalities we'll be able to observe with the help of smartboards. So here we go. So let's first take a basic example of building a smartboard, right? And you can expect smartboards to work very smoother compared to screen recorders, which was very difficult task to execute. But again, uh, smartboards work on a specific application at a specific time. In a single smartboard, you can have multiple applications integrated, right? So you can use multiple times different set of applications. On the top of it, you can work out, right? So one way to build boards are use recorders. The other way is what? You can manually create the commands, you can build the boards. So we are initially learning recorders. Then we'll learn that instead of not using a recorder, rather than using recorders, we can manually record the steps at the step-by-step execution and build the complete board out of it, right? So recorders are not the only ways to build a board. These are the initial ways to build the board, or you can say these are kind of shortcut ways to build the board, right? But for complex applications, you may not always want to use a recorder. Rather, you may want to club up the commands manually, right? Which is the ideal way. We'll see that out after recorders. Okay, so here we go. In the arrow option, we'll select smartboard and make sure that smartboard is selected, right? And once it is selected, we'll click on the record option, right? Which will start us the smartboard recording. As we can see that I'm going to close this alarms. I'm going to also not close this. And here I have untitled notepad file which I want to open. So I'm going to click on record option, and you can see that it asks us select the window on which you want the smartboard to work out, right? So at a time it works with one window, but you can have multiple windows together as well, clubbed in a single board, right? So we have to select that out. If you look at that, so we have attend days, my task, Bitcoin price in Google Chrome, PowerPoint slide, go to training, settings, a lot of tasks open over here, right? These are different options open over here. I'm going to select untitled notepad, right? That's the application on which I want to work out with. Click on start. So it opens the application, in which I want to work out with. This is the application which shows. Okay, and now in this application, I may want to simply, let's say, press here, enter, and say, hi, this is Anshu. How are you? Right, so everything is being recorded. I am doing good. I may also want to click on certain object. So let's say click on format option, click on font option out of it, and maybe select here bold italic and the size is 26. Click OK, right, and then stop the recording. So some sort of changes that we have done. This might look quite similar to screen recorder, but yes, it can do the job of web recorder and screen recorder both. We can also, with this part, do the job of web recorder as well. Okay, so let's click here and say that this boat is oct underscore 06 boat. We have reached to boat 5, so this is boat 6. Okay, if you look at the boat, this is our boat, right, which is object cloning command, and we'll discuss object cloning command in more detail as well. It goes to text editor, clicks on format, font, bold italic, 26, and OK. Right, in case I want to make some edit in 26 or this 36 or whatever the selection it makes, I can also right click on this command and click on edit the command, and that's where I can say instead of item selecting 26, select something else. So maybe I may want it to select 28 and save it. That sort of changes you can make with this. This is a smart board. So let me go ahead and save this board and run this board, right? So it should start with this part. I'm also gonna remove this text, so that it shows the way it starts. So click on run option here. So now the boat should start and it should write here some text. Hi, this is Anshu. How are you? I'm doing good. Font option, and now it clicks on 28. You see, it clicked on 28 rather than clicking on 26. So that's a smart boat idea. We can always edit that boat. How does it works? What steps it takes, and infer with this boat. Increase the speed of execution, decrease the speed of execution, repeat this multiple times. Everything like that could be doable with multiple of these recorders. At this point, give a try to SmartBot and build a SmartBot to do this kind of job. Let me know if it works for you. Then we'll explore more about them. Okay, so give it a try. Let me know if it works. Right, give it a try. In case you get any error, let me know. So it's work done for Kamal and it's working for him. All right, so others, take your time. Let me know if it works for you. Right, so we got a message and confirmation from Srinivas as well that it works for him. right? Just take your time, let me know. In case you get error also, let me know at what point you're getting that. So Manyar is as well done, and sure, I can show this one more time. So let me repeat this out. Okay, so here we go. Right. So let's say that we want to build application on the top of this notepad, right? And so let me first say this. Okay, this notepad application. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that I have selected smartboard here, right? And once I have selected smartboard, I just need to click on record option, right? In the record, I need to select appropriate window on which I want to work out. I can scroll down and I can see that there is an option for notepad available over here. So which is my top notepad. I'm going to select that out, right? So selecting that and saying start, right? We'll start application only in that notepad, right? So here I might want to type out some stuff, right? So I can say that, hi, how are you doing? I'm doing good, right? Great, right? That sort of text we have written here, right? Some random text. And we want to make some changes in this. For example, let's say go to format option and click on font option, opens the font. I want to select the font to this one to, let's say, bold option, and that value, the text size to 48, right? Click OK. So these sort of changes that we have made. Okay, at the end we can click on stop button over here on the bottom right corner. Once we do that, it asks us for the name of boat. We can say oct underscore 06 boat 7. Okay, so we got a remix file created, and this is the file for that, right? So for every step we have a option over here. We have a line over here. So this windows are selected multiple times. So this every time we are writing, hi, how are you, like that. So these are the text written. Then we have font and bold italic. We have entered the size, where we have entered 48, right? In case we want to make any edit in any of these commands, we can just right click on the command. Let's say I want to make it edit over here 48, so I can click on edit option. It'll open a window here, right, where instead of 48, let's say that if I want to enter something else, and I can maybe enter 28, so it should select 28 out there. Make sure that 28 is an option. So yes, it is an option. I can also select, let's say, 24 also. Okay, and right, click on save. Saved it. I can save it from here and then run it. So now this run option will start the window, and you can see that it's stepping up out. Great. Go to font option. This time it will select 24 and OK. Right, it has done the job. Right, so we created a boat. We also edited the thing that boat does, and it has done the job. Let me know, Sampada, if it is clear. Any question you have? Okay, Daniel, got it. So maybe this could be our learning phase. That's the reason we might be making some errors, right? So, but in general, when it comes to working with Smartboard, we usually do not get errors. Okay, and it works very smoother compared to the other recorders. Smart recorders work very smoother compared to other recorders. And in practice, we rather than preferring to record using recorders, we prefer to use manual commands and do the job with that. Okay, great. So I hope we are good so far with this part, everyone. Right now, with the object cloning command, which is created here, we can make a lot of edits and changes with this as well. But we'll explore the command later. At this point, let's say that if you have to speed up the process or slow down the process, right? So the moment you selected this bot, which is October 16 bot 7, right? Or maybe October 16 bot 6, right? So here you get a lot of options. Do you want to repeat the execution of bot or not, right? So general settings you can change here, timeout in minutes, repetition. Do we want to repeat for every some time? So I can say that yes, repeat it, let's say 3 times. That means this execution is going to be now repeated 3 times. Making sense with this? And I can also change the speed as well. So speed, uh, do you want to make it faster, slower, or no mouse moves like that? We can change the speed faster, slower as well in our standard replay. Right. We can also put a specific time of execution for a specific command. So command-wise speed also could be changed out, right? Any hotkey, any security or analytics. We can also schedule the execution as well, right? So we can schedule that on one time only, right? So let me schedule this bot on 9:35 or let's say 33, 6 October 9:33. I have saved it, right? So right now in my case it is 21:30, and on 21:33 this should get executed automatically, right? I need to just enter password for laptop in case it is right. Enable auto login. Oh, it says enable. I mean, uh, it says that invalid username and password. Looks like I forgot the password. That shouldn't happen with me. All right, let me also try it again. I think it's correct password. I'm passing it out. Maybe this is pin. Okay, let me give a try again. It looks like it is. Yeah, this time I could enter it correctly. So 9:33 it should get executed. We can put a trigger as well. So at this point we have scheduled. Let's see the scheduling, does it works very well or not. And we have also put some repetition as well. So let's see if this part works very well or not. So we will need to wait for 2 minutes, and it should meanwhile you can also put this kind of configuration, check that if you schedule on a specific time, does it works or not, right? So whatever scheduling you have seen, so we have done two things, scheduling and repetition. In repetition setting we have repeat does done repeat 3 times, and in schedule I have scheduled it to 9:33. You can also schedule it to 9:34, or maybe you may want to wait for 2 minutes, right? So yeah, do the scheduling and repetition and check it out if the board execution works for these many iterations or not. I need to wait for a minute more to get it, start the execution, and I think it should start at 9:33 sharp. So it has started, as we can see, and let's see, does it start 3 times or not? That's important also. So font and bold italic, and I'm gonna say yes, and it does the job. You can see that it's starting 3 times and it's happening 3 times every time it's selecting. Okay, 2 times it's done, and then it should start third time as well. And as we can see that it's happening 3 times, and yes, it is done the job. So it has done the job, execution triggered on a specific time, and also it has been repeated 3 times. So let me know if this part of scheduling and repetition works for you. Then we'll see command wise editing of changes and all. Okay, let me know if it works for you. The scheduling and repetition part. In case it works for you, please give me a confirmation. How do I append the file? Is it that you want to save the file or something? I File creation, right? Okay, you know, save the file that way, right? You can try out with different file at this point of time, but yes, in case you want to save the notepad file and replace the existing one, in case of recorder, you will have to record that step where you already have file and it asks you that do we want to replace, say yes and do the job, right? In other way, how do we do that? That we'll see once we explore the commands. So with exploration of command, writing a notepad or CSV file, writing data to that, appending or replacing the existing one, how do we do that? Command-wise understanding of that we'll see in more detail, Daniel. Right, so that is yet to come. But yes, at this point, you have the only option at this point you have, is to record the step. Okay, I have issue with the system. Will configure and try later. No issues. So Sampada is done with that. Repetition count, Sampada, in the properties option, you have repeat option. You can say here 3 times repeat. Okay, you want to append the files to the command. Okay, in the sense like you are talking about ATMX file, Daniel, or the notepad file? The ATMX file, that's possible. So for that, you can, just right click on this and edit option. Right click and edit option. And you can see that it opens in the workbench. Now you can drag and drop more commands and add to this. So worked for Kamal as well. And I hope you're good with that, Sampada, the understanding of repetition count. So you can pass in the properties here, you can pass the repetition count. Okay, I hope we are clear, Daniel. Right, Manya, let me know if it works for you and if you're done with that. Every time save the data in append. Okay, so that means you want to append in the CSV file, right? You want to append the data again in the CSV file, Daniel, right? So how do we do that kind of task? That we'll see up, right? So we have that kind of command coming up. Further in the coming sessions, we'll be able to see that how do we handle CSV files. So we'll spend more time on CSV, Excel, Notepad file, understanding all possible modes of appending data, writing a new data, creating multiple files with different names, or replacing existing file. Multiple of these kind of tasks we are yet to explore. Okay, so after the bot is created, how do I edit without repeating the code? Recording, yeah, that's what. So you see, the moment you open this part, right now you can just go to any command, and let's say that I want to edit this 28. So I can go to this command, click on edit option, right click, click on edit option. So for any command, right click and click on edit option. right? So what are the things that we can edit here is we can select item by text, select item by index, or left click, right click, anything like that. So I want to, instead of 28, I want it to be 24. I can save it. That's where it will simply, in the font size, it will not click on 28 now, it will click on 24 now. So right click on the command and edit option. That's how you can do that job, right? And that specifically to CSV file, we'll learn more sort of commands later as well. Okay, so at this point, everyone, I hope we are good with the understanding of three types of recorder. How do we use them? Web recorder, screen recorder, and smart recorder. The best recorder to prefer is smart recorder for most of the tasks. For internet-based tasks, the websites which are very well compatible to Internet Explorer, you can prefer using web recorders as well. But screen recorders are not among the recommended recorders for developing applications, right? Whereas web and smart recorders are among the recommended recorders. Okay, so this was idea of basic getting started with automation anywhere client interface, right? Now we will work with all these commands which we can see on left hand side panel, right, which is starting from Active Directory, app integration, clipboard, comment, database, delay, email automation, excuse me, to error handling further and go further ahead. We'll be working with all of these commands in step-by-step manner and looking at them in terms of executing the task, right, or building the boat. But at the same time, it is very important that we also understand why are we trying to build these boats and what is the application which we want to develop on the top of these boats. Understanding that part is also very important. So other than exploring this part, what I would request all of you to also do that is the web page of Automation Anywhere. When you open this is the community edition resources, right? After signing up, you are redirected on this interface. Over here, if you scroll down, you can see there is an option of read case studies. If I click on this option of case studies, I can see variety of case studies for Automation Anywhere on this interface. So as a part of task in this week, I want you to go ahead with multiple of case studies in this case and learn them couple of case studies, learn couple of case studies from here, right? Well increases employee productivity with RPA. Dai-ishi life insurance saves 132,000 hours actually with Automation Anywhere RPA. St. James Place sees potential for exponential benefit with RPA. There are multiple other case studies of actual implementation where the people have been using Automation Anywhere, developing the solutions and the boats, which has been adding value to their business. So, it's not only about in RPA, it is very important to understand the business perspective of where do we use this command. So let's say even if we learn these commands, but we don't know how to build the applications and for which kind of applications are we going to use that, it won't be very helpful for us, right? So with the career perspective, with the application users perspective, it is also very important that we should be capable of identifying the right use cases and um, you know uh, uh, molding our learning with that those set of right use cases, right? So we have variety of use cases: Tata Sky, PGGM, Hitachi, BoyQS, and Australia Post, Erhol, Lilly, the University of Maryland, Melbourne, and Caritas, Symantec, Stana, right? There's a variety of Juniper and variety of use cases of different banks and clients which are mentioned over here who has been using Automation Anywhere for different scenarios. And I would strongly recommend you to read at least 5 of these case studies. Spend some time on that, understand that whatever the course that you are doing, the certification we are going to get with this part, where which of the enterprises have been already using this and what way they have succeeded in the specific use cases. It is very important to have that understanding, right? So that way, whenever we learn a new command, you will have more logical questions compared to any question which may not be required while building that. So let's say that if I tell you that, well, this is how we can use Excel and copy data from Excel and put in the email, you might learn the technical idea of that command very well, but if you do not make sense of where do I use that in real perspective, that would be difficult. If you go through these case studies, you will get to understand that what actual problems these enterprises were facing and which were using these kind of tools like say Excel, PDF, or invoices or email, and then you will be able to make sense, well, this is something that I can use on this location or this place, right? So that way this is very important. If I take you to a specific case study, let's say whale increases employee productivity, and also Tata Sky. Okay, so let me take you through two case studies to explain them. All right, so first is whale case study, right? And the case studies here with Automation Anywhere are very to the point and easy to understand, right? So whale is one of the world's largest mining companies, and they are into mining and transforming natural resources into prosperity, right? And they have more than 124,000 employees, and the company is based in Brazil, and they have offices in 30 other countries. Now, what is the problem that they were facing out? Realized. I'm sorry, looks like there was been some challenge with the audio. So Whale has more than 124,000 employees. And what these employees used to do, they used to perform registering of invoices, which were not mostly related to their field of work. That was also leading to loss of human capital, as these workers were not utilized for their experience and knowledge, right? So the company looked into the idea of RP as a full-time employee to work alongside the boats, allowing staff to focus more on traditional work other than handling invoices. So what was the solution? Right, they started with experiments on small tasks requiring very less resources. Then they target the complete processing in finance and in back office work, right? And there were a lot of manual and repetitive work. Implementation, they could notice heavily increase in employee satisfaction, and also they could save around $12 million annually, and around 1,000 boats in productions they have currently, and there are 350 processes in business. So one process could be what, receiving invoice, registering it. Another process could be forwarding an invoice, like that. Other process could be receiving a purchase order and processing that. Such 350 processes they automated, and for them they were using multiple bots. It may be possible that for one process they are using 3 to 4 bots, because the load of that process is heavy, right? So this is a use case and a case study for whale. And they are also mentioned the complete study in more detail about the interfaces that they have been using up, right? And the exact in as the ERP solution. So they well structured a database to use SAP to compare invoice information inside ERP. With that, invoices were processed efficiently. Employees could act before any penalties were applied, and the estimated cost avoidance went more than $2 million. Right, so that's a perspective. So this is one case study where Whale implemented RPA into mining sector. They were using so wherever there was already the employees were using ERPs for registration of invoices and things like that, but the challenge is majority of their employees were involved in repetitive tasks, which is what they did not wanted, right? That's where they used bots. Okay, so that's one idea. This is one case study where we have seen the RPA solution is built, or the bots are built for the back office operations in the mining industry, right? Other than that, if you look at other case study, Tata Sky, which is more of retail industry for uh, you know television sort of uh, channel providing, right? So they are into that. So Tata Sky is a joint venture between Tata Sons and Disney, and it's India's leading content distribution platform. It was first in country to launch around 4K enabled set-top boxes that were allowing users to uh, access content from mobile devices. What are the challenges they had? Like other companies, Tata Sky considered outsourcing its manual processes to BPO and was connected about a value leakage, right? So what's concerned about value leakage? That means when they outsource their work to BPOs, uh, the BPOs might not care about the customer value and the customer relationship. That means there was a leakage of value. The company decided that it was time to optimize the within and reduce the spend. They were looking for solutions that would allow them to do more with less, while addressing the speed and accuracy of the processes, making the overall business process more efficient. They partnered with EI for their expertise in process automation. EY helped Tata Sky to select automation anywhere RPA and help them determine which process would be the best to automate. So EY is a consulting firm. Ernst& Young is a consulting firm, and they help businesses to understand the business process and help them that what should they do to optimize the business process, right? So Tata Sky began automating processes within its finance, supply chain, and treasury departments before moving to more complex processes within its taxation and tax related conciliation terms, right? So they did some sort of automation, maybe finance processing or invoice processing, or it could be customer complaint processing, supply chain management, stuff like that. At the end, they could save around 10,000 plus hours annually. They have 17 process total automated and 5 boards implemented. More detail of the case study is given over here, right? This is a short description of that. So that's one idea, right? So this is where we have seen 2 case studies. I would strongly recommend you to explore more case studies over here and go ahead with that. Look at more business perspective about how do we, what are the different examples where people have implemented. That will give you more contextual understanding when we look at the next coming week, when we look at multiple commands, right? You will have more understanding of how do we, where do we use this out. So upcoming week, as we already discussed the agenda, right? What is the agenda for the coming week? Let me show you that again. Right. I'm going to anyhow share this PPT to you, so you're going to be able to access this out. So we already covered recorders, right? Recorders, in that we have covered basic understanding of smart recorder, screen recorder, and web recorder. So what is that we're going to start with? We're going to start with variables, command library. In that we'll be looking at loop command, Excel, database, string operation, XML, terminal emulator, PDF integration, FTP command. We'll also be looking at object cloning, error handling, email automation, sending, receiving emails, downloading files, log to file, read from CSV, manage Windows control command, like that. So these are, out of this workbench, we're going to be touching out majority of these commands in the upcoming week, looking at how do we work with these commands, how do we, develop some use cases based on these commands, how to drag and drop, what are the properties, when to use, when not to use, what are do's and don'ts. And we'll focus on building some applications using multiple of these commands, right? I hope we're good with that. Let me know if you have any questions so far, everyone. Okay, great. So I hope we are all good so far, right? So at this point, it's something that we cannot start with a new topic because we have reached to time. So let me know if you have any question. Otherwise, we'll be ending up the session today here and meet back next week and work with these commands in more thorough way. So the task for this week is please read out a couple of case studies. I'll upload the PPT and my ATMX files, which I have developed here, in the LMS portal. I hope you already have access to LMS. There I'll be uploading this out. So all the material every week, including case studies and the manuals, reports, tutorials will be available out there. Okay. All right. Very good. So great. Then with this part, we'll be ending up here today, everyone. Meet back, the next week. Thank you for joining the session today. See you all next week.